It was an ugly gut check win for the Patriots, but we'll take those in the NFL. That's 9 in a row for the Pats. They sit at 10-2 after the 26-20 win in Cincinnati. And here to help us break it down, as he does every Monday, we have got Mike Debate from Patriots on SI. Monday morning, Mike, back at it after we had him on a Friday last time. You know, Mike, I watch all these TV shows, and they're just like obsessed with the reboots these days. I'm like, enough of the reboots. And yesterday, watching the Patriots, I promise I'm going somewhere with this, it felt like a reboot of the infamous body bag game between the Eagles and the Redskins. Man, just I don't think I've ever seen that many injury timeouts in an NFL game. And it looks like it might just be a sprain for Will Campbell. That's the rumor. Mike Vrabel says more than a week or two. But it's probably, knock on wood, not a torn ACL, which looked like it could have been that, the way he was being carted off the field, towel over the head, emotional, all that.
Absolutely.
But what does that injury mean for the Patriots if he's out multiple games?
Well, it could mean a number of things for the New England Patriots. First of all, it definitely means that the left side of that offensive line right now is not only going to be missing Will Campbell for at least the foreseeable future, but also word coming down just a little while ago that Jared Wilson suffered a high ankle sprain, likely to keep him out anytime between 4 and 6 weeks, although the Patriots are officially listing him as week to week. He's a likely candidate for IR, which means if he does go out, he's going to miss the foreseeable future and a good chunk of the remainder of the regular season. So now you're looking at Ben Brown being penciled in on the left guard position and the tackle position. That could be an issue. Vidarian Lowe, I know, is a pro. He's been around the league for a while. He's been your guy when Will hasn't been able to step up to the plate. Both he and Marcus Bryant, now the rookie, a lot of light's going to be shed on these guys. Can they step up and weather the storm and keep that ship sailing in the right direction? Because Drake May has had a great amount of protection so far from Will Campbell. Like you said, a reliable guy on that line that gives you everything you need and nothing that you don't most of the time. So they're going to be missing Will on the field. I think most importantly, they're going to be missing him in the locker room and on the sidelines. From the players that I spoke to, they're heartbroken for Will because they know that he thrives on being out there and being a leader just simply by example and by his personality. That counts for a lot, especially with the way this team is playing. So not great news for the New England Patriots, no question about it. But when you look at the grand scheme of things, this could have been a whole lot worse. Thankfully, their injury status gives them hope to each come back in time for the playoffs. And the Patriots need to hope that that happens.
Big time. I just really thought I had Vidarian Lowe out of my life. I thought that was the case. It's keeping me humble as the Patriots win 9 in a row. But looking at that, you mentioned it in there, the whole unit, right? It's not been like a top 10 unit or anything. They've been better in pass and they have been in the run game and the run blocking. But we remember last year, that was one of the worst offensive line units I've ever seen. And just to make that jump this year, Mike, from just totally horrible to okay, league average, maybe bottom half of the league, but not bottom third of the league kind of offensive line. How much of a difference has that made in the Patriots' success?
Oh, it's been huge. The fact that you have an offensive line now that is not considered an automatic liability is so much, attributed to the success of Drake May, the success of the running game, which I know Patriots fans are still waiting for that running game to really show its face and really show up. And we didn't see a lot of it yesterday. There were reasons for that. That offensive line was decimated by injury, and they were affected by it the same way that Drake and the passing game was going to be affected by it. But they're finishing their blocks. They're playing with a completeness. They're playing with a purpose once again. And I want to give an awful lot of credit to Doug Marrone, who I think has done a great job in keeping that unit in line and making sure they all know their role in Josh McDaniels' offense. McDaniels, as you know, loves to mix things up. He is not an easy offensive coordinator to play for. It's advanced football analytics 101 when you step into a Josh McDaniels classroom. And your linemen need to know that. They need to know the nuances. And Marrone has definitely brought them up to speed and helped them to be able to do it. So if there is a line that can weather this type of a storm, they may be well positioned to be able to at least keep the ship afloat for a while until repair crews get in there and they can do their thing, and then the Patriots can keep sailing on. Right now, I feel much more confident in this line than I would have if this happened last year. Yeah, this would have been an absolute decimation, and you can probably scrap the season after that. Patriots have a chance to keep things going here, but they're clearly going to miss the production that they're getting out of the left side, especially when it comes to Campbell.
Yeah, and one of the things that has made this offensive line so effective, best abilities, availability, and they had basically the same five for every game this season. And I think chemistry can be a little overrated in sports, but not on the offensive line. That's where it is proven time and time again that it is not overrated. And I like to shout out to Doug Marrone because, we were starting to think around here, can the Patriots organization put together an offensive line that's not coached by Dante Scarnecchia? Like, is it even possible when you look at like the last 30 years of Patriots football? And I think they put a lot of confidence in Doug Marrone this year by not making a bunch of depth moves at the offensive line position in free agency. Obviously, we know those come at a huge premium. It's not like they're growing on trees. And taking a chance on Will Campbell in the top 5. That showed a lot of confidence in your offensive line coach. And certainly it has come to fruition so far this season. And again, I mean, we're just scratching the surface of this here. And this is a good tackle draft as well coming up in 2026, unlike last year. But looking at the guy they're protecting, Drake May, I'm going to break this down into 2 questions here. Looking at the win yesterday against Cincinnati, you've seen every snap that Drake May's played in the NFL, and you've seen all the growth this year, Mike, and all the things that he's doing right. And then you watch that first quarter. What was going through your head watching that first quarter of Drake May yesterday?
He was having a rookie moment, without any question about it. Now, I don't know what was necessarily causing that rookie moment, but you start 3 of 7, you throw a costly pick 6, and all of a sudden that feeling that you have, that feeling of confidence that we've seen Drake and we've watched Drake with all season long, starts to wane a little bit. You start to wonder, all right, maybe the moment's getting a little bit big. Maybe he's going to start to show his second year, problem. I mean, obviously Drake is just not a rookie. This is his second year, but it's his first full season as the starting quarterback of a team that is not only in contention for a playoff spot, they're in the prime position right now. They're in the driver's seat. So it's a lot for him to carry on his young shoulders right now. And that's why I'll say he had, like a rookie moment, in that regard. It's not necessarily I'm being literal. I'm being more figurative in that case. But the one thing that really made me feel like this is different and this is not something that Patriots fans need to worry about is that he didn't have his quicksand moment. He didn't dig his feet in and start to say, okay, this is going wrong. That's going wrong. Where do I go from here? We've seen Patriots quarterbacks go into that type of tailspin and not be able to pull out of it because of the mistakes that were going on and everything that was going on around him. Drake remained focused. He did buckle down. I think he had a much better second half than the first half. To me, delivering that 39-yard strike to Demario Douglas on a crucial third down conversion that was needed showed to that team, I'm still in charge. I'm still capable of leading this club to victory. This may not be our best effort, but it's going to be a winning effort, and we're going to get out of here with a W, and that's exactly what the Patriots did. So rather than hang his head in adversity, Drake showed a little bit of mettle, stepped up, and he did what he needed to do. This week is about refining some of the technical problems and the technique problems that we saw him have on the field. Patriots will do that in practice. I have every confidence in that. Josh and Mike are going to work him hard, no question about it. But the desire and that unending spirit to just keep going is in Drake May. And I don't think it's anything that Patriots fans have to worry about throughout the next few weeks heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, he does throw for a career high, by the way, 294 yards through the air. So he definitely picked himself up off the mat for sure. And so kind of just going off of that, that looking back in that first quarter. So are you saying that it was kind of that, maybe some jitters or maybe just not being on the same page? Was there anything that Cincinnati was showing you of like, ooh, that might be something other teams could use? Or was that just Drake not being Drake?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think Cincinnati came in knowing that the Patriots were going to try to exploit the run game, and they were trying to force Drake into making passes and taking the lanes away from him. They did a very good job, I think, of taking some of the marquee receivers out of the game, and that's something that they really wanted to do. But again, you start to have moments and you start to have issues where you're throwing incompletions and you're not getting the same looks that you used to. Some of that's on Drake as well, and it's just not Drake being Drake. But once he was able to buckle down a little bit and you saw him settle in and understand, all right, this is what the Bengals are doing, this is how I'm going to counter it. That's a maturity that you don't see in young quarterbacks that often. That's why Drake is being mentioned among the MVP candidates right now. So yeah, I think the next opponents, like, for example, the New York Giants coming up a week from this coming Monday, are going to look and they're going to say, okay, well, yeah, let's take a page out of what Cincinnati tried to do in the first quarter, try to confuse him a little bit, try to keep him off his game. But I don't think they uncovered a blueprint now on all of a sudden how to defend Drake May. Drake pulled himself out of it pretty well. I think he'll be, solid going forward. And I don't think you're going to find this game as being taking the bloom off the rose when it comes to the Patriots quarterback.
I love that. I really loved his, 39-yard throw to Pop Douglas on that 3rd and 11. And this looks like an unbelievable drive. They're 3rd and 11 inside their own 10. They go 3 plays to get 86 yards down to the 5-yard line. And then all hell breaks loose, Mike. I mean, just what the hell happened after that? I still don't really know. That's why we bring on Mike Debate to try and find out. 9 plays inside the 10 yesterday in general, not just on that drive. 9 plays inside the 10, 5 plays from the 1-yard line, and managed just 1 field goal in that against the worst defense in the NFL. Is that a red flag?
I'm cautious to say it's not a red flag, but it's something that definitely concerned me throughout this game. Now, if we see a trend developing here, and meaning a trend, I don't mean going into multiple games. I mean, if we see this continue against the Giants next Monday, yeah, that's something that you definitely have to keep a sharp eye on and say, this is not the way the New England Patriots have been operating up until this point. This needs to change. They need some red zone efficiency, and they need it quickly. But it surprised me a little bit yesterday, especially when they had an opportunity to punch it in twice. Ramondre stopped cold on the 3rd down attempt. You go for it on 4th down. Yeah, this might be an opportunity to bring out Andres Borregales' kick, get the 3 points on the board, keep the Bengals on their heels. They chose to try to go for it. I understand it's close. You get a pick flat play with Hunter Henry as the passing option. That, to me, looked like the lane that could have been taken. They didn't do it. They handed off to Ramondre once again. He stopped. That could have been a momentum killer. But again, much like Drake May did, picking himself up off the mat, dusting himself off, and then moving back forward, Patriots defense comes right out in the ensuing drive, forces a 3 and out. And they automatically take whatever little momentum that the Bengals were building at that point, took it right back, handed it right back to the New England Patriots. So as long as this team continues to support each other in that regard, yeah, you're going to see them win close games like they did yesterday. They just have to hope that that continues. And the best way to hope that that continues, don't put your battery mate, don't put your wingman, so to speak, in that type of position. Yeah. When you're in the red zone, punch it in, get the sure 6 points. That's the way that they can show their gratitude to the defense. But yeah, we saw some of that yesterday, and I was a little concerned, but I'm not so much concerned to the point right now where it's worrying me. Get back to me after we break down next Monday's game. If it keeps happening, yeah, then I'll be a little worried.
And here is the thing that kind of gave me hope as I really brought myself down from the breakdown I was having yesterday watching this team play inside the 10 was I think back to 2018 and Josh McDaniels in December of that year. Remember, they had lost a couple of games in a row. Right. They had a late bye, or maybe it was a Thursday going into the next Sunday. They had some time, and they basically changed their offense. They said, you know what, the thing that we are doing well is running between the tackles. And we saw that team, unlike pretty much any other Brady team, run between the tackles in the postseason, and it led them to their last Super Bowl. Here you got one game in the next 20 days. And I know Josh loves establishing the run. Even when he has the best quarterback ever, he loves establishing the run. But could this be something where, Josh is going to get in the lab a little bit and they're going to have to admit to themselves, look, we're not a running we're not a push the pile 1 yard, we're always going to get it kind of team, like when they had LeGarrette Blount or even someone like a Damian Harris, and just say we're not that anymore. And Josh can cook a little bit with some short yardage situations. Like, do you think that gets resolved by the time they do have the Bills and the Ravens?
I think there's a chance, and I think that the fact now that they're going to be facing the next few weeks without Will Campbell and Jared Wilson may end up forcing their hand. It may end up giving Josh a little bit more of a leash or a little bit more slack in the leash, I guess is the best way for me to put it, to start incorporating some of those short yardage plays, those goal line stands that allow them to get a little creative and keep teams on their heels. I do believe that what you're saying is absolutely true. And listen, Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson can absolutely be a part of that. There's enough athleticism and enough savvy to be able to run a short route, catch the ball if they need to on a short pass, or get creative with some patented Josh McDaniels trickery that could end up, giving teams some fits down the line. There's enough talent to be able to succeed at this level without being that push the pile every single time you go and you push, you're going to get it. Unfortunately, they do not have the master of the quarterback sneak in under center any longer with Tom Brady. Drake is capable, but it's not his best strong suit. So in that regard, yeah, I'm all for maybe a little bit of a readjustment in the way they do business down there, because Patriots are going to need to utilize the runners, especially in the open field, for significant yardage gain as that weather starts to get colder. And if they're going to have playoff games up here in Foxborough, yeah, you're going to need to run the ball effectively in order to be able to win.
And we're just still waiting for that to kind of come together. Still waiting for that to all kind of come together. Mike Debate will definitely be breaking it down once it does come together, or even if it doesn't, he'll be here too. After every Patriots game here on the Wicked Boston Show, Patriots on SI. Mike, just tell the people, tease us a little bit, what you've got coming out. What's your big takeaway from the game?
Absolutely. Well, it's more of the same when it comes to the coverage that we're providing you from SI. Definitely check us out on New England Patriots on SI. We're going to be breaking things down with takeaways. We're going to be going through grades, snap count reports, and of course, we're going to continue to break down all of the very latest on the injuries to Will Campbell, to Jared Wilson. Kyrie Astonga left the game yesterday with a chest injury. Yeah. He didn't come back. Brendan Schooler could be on the shelf for a little bit. Going to continue to break those down. Definitely check us out on New England Patriots on SI. And of course, we're also launching a brand new podcast, myself and Ethan Hurwitz, All Patriots Talk, going to be available on the On SI channel as well. So keep a sharp eye out for that as the playoffs arrive.
Gosh, we certainly will. And we will certainly be keeping you around after every Patriots game this season as well. Mike, always appreciate you taking the time and for the thoughtful breakdown.
Anytime. Thank you so much, Ethan.
There he goes. Monday morning, Mike. Of course, it'll be a Tuesday next time we've got him after the Patriots and the Giants. So be sure to stick around and check out Mike's work for all the breakdowns of the Patriots going right now. Give me your takeaways, though. The injuries, the red zone stuff, winning ugly. What did you think of this Patriots win in Cincinnati on Sunday? Let me know in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Of course, come at you live on YouTube every weekday, noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. It's your lunchtime alternative to Boston Sports Talk Radio, The Wicked Boston Show with Cam Stewart.